Good morning, students. So in our last lesson, we learned about the coordinate grid and the vocabulary terms. In this lesson, we're going to plot ordered pairs. So you will need to draw this. So go ahead and pause the video and you're going to draw the x-axis, the y-axis, and I went out three marks, three numbers in each direction. So go ahead and pause it. Pause the video right now, and I'm going to start to fill in the numbers as well. So you can also do that. 1, 2, 3. And if you forget how to do the numbers, then just unpause it and then you can continue with me. All right, go ahead and pause. Okay, so I'm going to continue numbering them. So these are positive. These ones are also positive. These ones are negative. -1, -2, -3. And these ones are also negative. -1, -2, -3. Okay, quiz yourself. Label the 4 quadrants. Remember, one of them is a quadrant 1, one is a quadrant 2, one is a quadrant 3, and 4. Which one is which? Okay, now let's check it. So you might need to erase and change it if you forgot. This is quadrant 1. This is quadrant 2. It moves counterclockwise. This is quadrant 3, and this is quadrant 4. Okay, underneath the quadrants or next to it, I'm going to remind you the x's and y's. So for quadrant 1, both numbers have to be positive. For quadrant 2, the x is a negative, the y is a positive. For quadrant 3, they are both negative. And for quadrant 4, the first number is positive, x, and the y is negative. Okay, and I'm going to write, I'll put it right up here, reminding you that first we do the x, which goes horizontally, and then we do the y, which goes vertically. Okay, if you need more time to write this down, just pause it until you're ready. Okay, so we're going to plot 1 point in each quadrant. So I'm going to write them. I'm going to slide this up so I have some space to write. Our first point that we'll plot is going to be 3, 2. Okay, so first we notice both my x and y are positive. So which quadrant will that be in? That's right, quadrant 1, because they're both positive. So remember, start at the origin at 0, and we're going to go over to the right 3. 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to go up 2. 1, 2, and that's where we put our point. And I'm going to label it 3, 2. Okay, let's plot our next point. 2, -2. So try to figure out which quadrant would that point fall in. That's right, quadrant 4, because the x is a positive and the y is a negative. So now let's graph it. Start at your origin, count over 2 because it's positive. 1, 2. Now go down 2 because it's negative. 1, 2. And put your mark. And let's label it 2, -2. Okay, next point. Let's graph -1, -2. What quadrant will that be in? That's right, quadrant 3, because notice they're both negatives. So here we go. Start at the origin, 0, go -1 horizontally on the x-axis. I should have labeled this. This is the x-axis, and this is the y-axis. Okay, I'm right here, and then I go down 2. 1, 2. And I'm going to label it -1, -2. And we have one more point. Let's do -3, 0. I tried to trick you. What quadrant is that in? It would land in quadrant 2 because the first number is negative. So we know it's either going to be in quadrant 3 or quadrant 2. Technically, actually, it's in between both of them. So it could be quadrant 3 or quadrant 2. Let's graph it. Start at the origin, 1, 2, 3. we're not going up or down, so we put our point right there on the axis and label it -3, 0. So I'll write the term axis too. So we have now plotted one point in every axis. And this, if you want to label the origin, that would be 0, 0. All right, very nice job.